Hello guys, good morning. So we will continue with the next steps in our project. So the next step is place order, right? Place order. Basically here, like we're going to create the order details page, right? And there will be a button to click for placing the order, okay? So the step one is schema. Means, we need to create a table for our data to be stored. That's in our Prisma, right? We use schema. So let's do that. So I'm just gonna we have two table, okay, like order table and let's say user, right? Somebody visit e-commerce site. That user gonna create order. So in that order there will be one ID, right? Order ID. But inside that order might be many items. So we have another table to store all that items. And this order item, look at here. It has ID, order ID, right? Which is this order. One order, they are related now, right? By connecting to the order ID. And product ID also, right? So there will be product ID as well. Then we're gonna have quantity, price, name, slug, and image, right? So see, in this order table, all these are like header, right? Header section. Maybe related to this ID, you have many items, right? Basically, just call it order item. You're gonna have many items. So we're gonna store, each item, right, inside this table. So they will relate it to the order ID, right? Order ID will be same, but if there is 5 items, the product ID of each item will be changed, right? Quantity will change, price will change, name will change, slug and all that, right? For each items, okay? So let's work on this. I will copy, go back to our schema. So in the Prisma schema, right? Below here, we're gonna place it after address, right? So user and product, they are related to the product, and the user related to user, right? So we must add in the user table relationship, right? So here simply we call it order, right? And the name of the schema is order. Just put this square bracket. Similarly, in the product, let's go back to the product. Where is the product, right? So you see now user error is gone, right? The next is product, okay? And for this order, look at here, is for this order also, for this order relationship, we have order items. No need items, right? Order, okay, fine. This name should not be matter. That's whatever is here, we have to, if you need, right, you have to use this name, okay? So let's go to the product table and try to make a relationship. The product table, where is product table? Here, right? So we're gonna just call our order item, right? No, let me quickly check. That's the order item, okay? So I'll just make it small letter, order items, or order, yeah, this name should not matter, okay? I'll just keep it order item, right? Or maybe order items also fine. And here you have to give the schema name, okay? So that is capital order, right? Like, and that should have a square bracket. So with this, the error should be gone, right? Look at now. Yeah, it's good to go. So why I put S there, because here is S, right? So just leave it like that, same, So the next step, what is the next step? After, adding the schema, right? We must push it. So npx prisma db push, right? Basically, this will create the schema for our Prisma client, right? Because remember, Prisma client, when you call import Prisma, that Prisma must recognize all these things like order items. That's why we have to, when you do npx prisma db push here in the mongodb mongo database, right? It will create the like schema for that, not schema, client, right? We call it, it updates the client. Okay, so the client knows I have table like orders, order items, or everything inside here. Okay, it knows, right? So when we call prisma dot order or prisma dot order items, we are referring to this table. Okay, so first step is done. Let's look at the next step, right? Validator, basically, So the first validation is payment result schema, right? Payment result schema. See, when you click the button, later you will see in this details page, right? There will be a payment, basically place order button. Okay, when you click that, there some information we're gonna need. Okay, like status, email address, and price to be paid, right? These are the few information you're gonna need, and these, there is a table now, right? Look at payment result. Okay, so here we store the object with this information, right? This is what you're gonna store in that, because if you look at order tables, there are like user ID, shipping address you're gonna store, payment method you're gonna store, right? We already have payment methods, you just call that here. Payment result you're gonna store, which we don't have before, right? Schema for that, so we create this. Item price we have already, shipping price, tax price, total price is paid, all this, this is default, right? So default will be added automatically, but we update when the payment is done, right? Is paid, true or false, so when payment, we receive payment, we're gonna make it convert to true. Okay, we update this order table, right? Is delivered, in the beginning it is false, but when delivery is made, right, completed, then we're gonna update our order table. So see, we have shipping address schema already. We don't have this one, so we're creating one. Sorry, for the payment result, right, we are creating one. Okay, payment method we have already before this video, right? So in our schema validator, we're gonna add this code, right? So let's go back there in our schema validator, validation validator, right here. Just place it here. Okay, payment method schema, we have that. Payment result schema we got now new, right? So this will be useful later. So now, we have, like, you're gonna insert data, right, inside this table. Okay, we're gonna create order. So can we validate this fields by creating schema for that? Insert order, like when you can insert, we have user ID, shipping address, right, all these things. So let's quickly validate that. I'm just gonna copy this and place here, right? So this is for inserting order. Okay, insert order schema, right? You can compare with our table. Okay, just compare, try to understand, right, with all this field here. Next is order item schema, right? For in like each item of the order, we need a schema for that. Let's copy that also. So this will help us, like to validate our data, right, later on. Okay, that's why we have created schema for all that. If you look at here, for shipping address, we have a schema already. So we just call that, right? Shipping address schema, okay? Because inside that, this object will be adding, right? This whole thing, full name, street address, city, postal, all that, right? Item price is a number. Item shipping, one thing, there will be some error, right? But we're going to fix that one later. Let's not, because these fields we have before, right? And their value, maybe number, maybe string. We have to check if they are matching or not. If not matching, we're gonna get error, right? So I have not checked yet. When there was some error, right? When I tested this, I did not fix that. We're gonna fix later. Okay, let's complete this and then I'm gonna fix that issue later. But for now, let's leave it. Let's continue. So now next step is like function, right? Server action function means, let's say you have the form or you have to fill out some data, right? The server action will take that data and connect to our database. Okay, take the action, right? Adding data to our database. That's why we don't need API. We're not creating API, but now in Next.js, we have something called server action. By implementing this line of string, right, basically on the top of the page, we can write a function. That function will take the data from the user or client side and it will update to our database. Basically server kind of function, right? Function run in server. Okay, similar to API. So in order action, we already have order action file. Let's check. In the in the cart action, right? So we don't have that because we are working with the order, right? Placing order. So let's create that. Order dot actions dot ts, right? Okay. Now here, we're gonna bring that code. So I will just copy in one shot and then explain out. Okay. If you look at this code, import auth, we know that get my card, get the user by ID, redirect from next navigation, because you want to, after doing something, right, you want to go to the next step, that is redirect function. Insert order schema. Okay, so we have that schema created, right, in the validator. Insert order schema, we're gonna need that. Prisma, this is a Prisma client to connect to our database to display the format error message, right? We have function format error. Okay, and then our server action function, right? This is the function. Inside the function, we're gonna take some different steps, right? But before that, let me correct all this. So I'm gonna let me refresh, right? It should work. Let me refresh the page, reload window, because if they are in the right place, it should it should pick up these function, right? If this the location is okay, it did not. So let me try again. From at the rate, oh, so get my card, right? See, it's not picking up. So I will just do import get my card and it will do that automatically. Get user by ID, right? Import get user by ID and insert order schema. Okay, import insert order schema. Fine. So in this function, this is asynchronous function. We can write try block, try catch block to, add the code in the try section if everything is like success, right? Everything, the code that need to be successful need to go here, and something to catch error you're gonna put in the catch block, right? Okay, so that's the error section. So let's look at the try section first. Of course, you're gonna get session from the auth. If no session, just throw error. Get my cart by calling await get my cart function. So we have the cart here, right? Look at the cart has item ID, user ID also there, session cart ID is there, item price is number, shipping price is number, tax price is number, total price is number, date, right? So we got the cart with all this information. Remember in our schema, now because we are creating this order, we need all this information, right? So in our shopping cart, okay, cart has a lot of things. If you look at the, look at the cart table and the data inside, right? You're gonna find a lot of things there, okay? So that's what we get. This cart is okay. Are you gonna find user also, right? You're gonna need user. So we have the session here. Using that ID, we're gonna get the user also. Okay, so user has like full name, street address. Basically, user has user information and the address also, right? So this function, the way we have written to, because user is related to address as well, so we can access that address same time, right? So you just have to check how this function is written. So now you have that user object dot address. You're gonna get all this information. Okay, so we have user address also. So if no user address or user address dot length is equal to 0, then that means the user don't have address. Just redirect it to the shipping address page. If no user dot payment method, right, redirect to payment method, because if user has by somehow not selected the payment method, so this user must have payment also, right, somewhere. This is the array of object, ID, street, postal code. So user dot payment, where is that? Maybe inside here, right? I don't see, but this is the address field. So excuse me. So user dot should have, it is not displaying all, but it's there, okay? And the payment, right? I mean, you're gonna find something here also. So if there is no payment, you're gonna redirect to shipping payment method also. Later we will check, right? Next, user dot address 0. So see the array, right? Array first item will be address, right? That will be the address. But we have to, if you cannot find, you just console log the data, right? Just console log this user and check in your console right here. I mean, all the connection, okay? Array, and then where is the object property, right? And that's how you have to fetch it here, okay? I mean, that's how you have to get that. If cart shipping address price is less than 0, so cart shipping price is less or equal to 0, I mean, throw an error, right? So this is not necessary. I mean, because in our shipping address, in our shipping code, right there, we have like if the price is like more than 100, then the shipping address will be 0, right? So this code will throw error. Okay, so let's delete that. We don't need that. So no matter how much, like shipping address, right? So I think we can change the in the shipping place, wherever we have shipping code, right? There you can add like if the total amount is more than 500, then shipping address will be 0, else shipping address is 10 or whatever, right? But again, you have the shipping address calculation is totally different thing again. Okay, you have to, in the real world, right? It depends on the length or distance to travel. The based on address, there are different shipping address fixed in the database, right? So we select from there, you calculate, right? System will calculate, okay, you are in city A or B, shipping from here to there will be $50 or $10 or $2, something like that, and that's what we include. So that is whole different additional work, right? You have to do, but let's not worry about that. Something you can add on, right, in the future. Normally for now, either $10 or maybe 0, right? So if the the total amount is more than 500, then shipping address will be 0, else you have $10. Okay, fine. So now we have insert schema, right? Schema here, we're gonna parse it, and what we need from this is user ID, shipping address, which we have already, right? We have the address here somewhere. Where is here? We just give that address. We're gonna parse, because when you parse insert order schema, right, and supply the value now, because the parse means what? This schema, you comparing your data with this schema value, right? See, it has user ID, shipping address there, right? Then you have full name, street address, city, all that, right? Postal code, country, whatever we have all there. So that's what you are parsing, right? So this is important, the way we create a schema, right? The way we have created this insert order schema, and then in the same format we have to supply the data, okay, so that it will validate our data, right, with this schema. And then finally, if everything looks okay, we're gonna get the object here, right? In the order, this will be our data of order, right? Now the interesting thing is here, insert order ID, right? See, this will give us insert order ID. This is basically what? I mean, just a variable, right? Just a variable where we are running this Prisma transaction function. Now this, what is this transaction function, right? So remember, just imagine, okay, in the very short way, right, like very in the simple way, if you have a bank 1 and bank 2 and you are trying to send money from your account to your friend account, right, in bank 2, you're gonna send some money. When sending money, right, let's say your friend bank server get down, so do you think the money will be sent still from or deduct from your account? No, right? Because in the process, if the transaction is not complete, then the money will be refunded automatically, right? That's kind of transaction here. So see, in this transaction, see, in our database we have concept called transaction, okay? So prisma.transaction. So this transaction will be little different for different database. This is for our MongoDB, right? But the idea is same. See what this transaction, even if you just Google search, right, how the transaction is done in MongoDB or maybe Postgres and all that, right? Transaction, okay? And what is the meaning of transaction? The either like whole process happens in one chunk, right? In one bulk. Either yes, everything proceed. If not, no, right? No proceed. Why we need transaction? Now you're gonna click the button place order, right? There are few things need to be happen, okay? So the step 1 is, see here, async, we have callback function, right? In the transaction we have callback function. Look at this function, okay? That's the first function. I mean, this transaction start here. The first thing is we are doing this work, right? After that we are doing this work. After that we are doing this work, right? And then finally return the order ID, inserted order ID, right? Okay. Then we will say if no inserted order ID, then throw error, then redirect to the order page now, right? Finally to the order page where we're going to make a payment, final payment. Okay, if there is catch error, we're going to just catch error, right? So if I click here, it goes all the way this place. Okay, so this whole steps, there are many steps, either gonna happen all this step or nothing gonna happen, right? So first is create order, means we have all the items in our shopping cart. Now we click on place order. So the data need to go in the order table. Place order means what? Data need to go in the order table. Okay, order table, right? So that's what we have done here. Transaction first. Order create, right? TX order. So see this same like prisma.order. Okay, but now we are using transaction to handle. Inside this callback function, you can have this transaction property, and that transaction property have access to our database. The first one is order create, and then you just give it the data, right? Done. So this will return something. Okay, insert, you're going to get some return feedback, right? Once it is created order, means whatever the item is added to the order table, you're going to receive here like feedback, right? Okay, that is first step, transaction 1. Transaction 2 is what? For const item of the cart item, right? So we have cart here somewhere. We have cart, right? We have a cart. Okay, shopping cart. So item from the shopping cart, right? Cart dot items. Remember, cart has that items, each items, right? Items is the array of object of array, right? Each object inside the array. Maybe there is many items in the cart, so we're gonna loop through that cart, right? And then we call our order item table and create each item, and there you change the price using parse float, item dot price to fix to, right? We have this to fix function. Basically, yeah, I mean, this is just a to fix function, right? In the like fixing the 2 decimal point, that is all. Okay, and the order ID, right, from insert order. Okay, insert order, it will return something. There you're gonna get the ID, because you have, remember, this order table has what? It has ID also. Okay, I mean, every table has unique ID, right? So we just, once you insert, it will give you that object. From that object, you're gonna get that ID. So each item now need what? You need price, order ID, and all the item list of information in the item, right? Like name, product ID, slot, quantity, image, price, right? Spread. Okay, so we are just changing the price to the to fixed value here. That is all. And then extra order ID, right? We are adding. So now we created the order item also. This loop will run how many items in the shopping cart? It will repeat that many times. Done. So we added. Now next is, once you have order item, order table and order item done, right? Now you want to clean your shopping cart, because you don't want item in the shopping cart. So again, await transaction. After this step, await transaction cart update. So where ID equal to cart ID, right? And change the data to items B, empty array, total price 0, shipping price 0, tax price 0, item price 0. Basically, we empty our shopping cart. Done. Now return inserted order ID. Just return it, right? So that when you call this function like inserted order ID, we have the ID available for our order. Now, why that ID will be useful, right? Like we're going to create the route using that order ID, right? We go to that order ID page and then proceed with our recommended, like whatever payment option we have choose, right? So if no order ID, that means throw error. Okay. If everything is success, right? In one transaction must happen all these three things. If one fail, then it will not add items to our order database, or maybe in the order items database, or it will not clean the cart, right? It will not. But if all pass, that means we move to the next route here, right? So we're gonna create in our root here, right? Later we're gonna just create the order folder, and then there will be ID, right? This ID. See, localhost 3000/order/ this ID, right? So it will be something, we're gonna create later. Okay, for now let's leave it. Done. So that was the whole transaction action function, right? In order action function. So yeah, so we have done that. Now is we're gonna create the order form, right? Place order, because these all things can, this is just a function. Okay, these all things gonna happen in one route, right? Because we click the button and we're gonna reach to this place order page. Okay, so we have that place order folder. We don't. We have shipping address. We have payment method already done. Now will be place order, right? Place order. So here will be what is that? PS, right? PS.tsx, and also we're gonna need the form, right? So this is the place order form, because you want to see all the details there, right? So let's copy this. So let's look at the form, right? First, I'm going to call the create order action, because the create order action we just look at, right? In the order action function, we're going to need that, because when you click the button place order, this function will run, right? So import create, what is that? Okay, create order or something, create order, right? From the order action. So in this function, in this code, right? This is the client side. You're going to click something and take action, right? So of course we're going to need check and loader icons later from Lucid React. See, there is two hooks now, right? So this is basically the form state hook from the React DOM. Use form state and use form status, right? So let's just try to see how these hooks work, right? And we have button from the Satsian, and then we have our action function right here. So place order form. So this is the place order form, right? The function or component. First thing is use state, use form state, right? When we call this function, we're gonna, let's say when the click of button, right? That is in the form table, or not table, but form, right? When you submit the button, you want to take action. Okay, so this action will run. That action means basically running this function, right? So use form states returns array of two things. One is the state, right? That will be the initial state here. For now it's success false and message is empty, right? But after action, the state, this data will change like success to true, and maybe you have some message here, right? So that is all. Okay, this is the initial data, and this is the action function which triggers whatever callback function here, right? So this is our server action function which we just created inside here, right? That's the job of the use form state. Okay, now we have the component called place order button, right? This is just a button component. Okay, in the beginning, now status also, we have another hook called use form status, right? So this will return you like pending state. You're gonna get pending state. The pending state will be false in the beginning, right? Because even look at here, success is false, right? But in the beginning, this will be false. This is a Boolean value. When you call this function, right, it will return Boolean, and this is just a name, right? So pending is false in the beginning. We use this button, right, to be hidden. Okay, when the pending become true, because disable, like when true, right, it will disable the button. So when it will be true, right, when you click the button, then only it will become true. That means button will be hidden, and because this is true, it will load the loader component, right, which is like a button is hidden, but it's loading something like a ring kind of, like circle kind of things running, right? But hidden, no one can click the button. Okay, until it is true, this function will load, right? And then we have, another component check, which will be basically run when it is false, right? When it is false, you have these things running, like place order button is active. This false, right? So it's just, this part is okay, but soon you click the button, this become true, and this component will run. It will make the button disable, so no one can click. Fine. Now this is just a component button. We're going to use now inside our form, right? Simple form action. We call the action from our use for form state. This action, this is just a name. You can name it anything, right? But this will be the function. Look at here. This is the function, right? Type is action return void. Okay, we have looked at this in the type. This is just a function. So when you call the action, this function will trigger, means this will trigger our callback function here, right? So we're not sending any data from here, right? Only thing is this callback function will run, and it has all the data needed from the shopping cart, shopping address, product, whatever, right? It has to do all that transaction. Okay, all these things gonna take place. And finally, it will return, if error, it will return success false, right? And error message, but it will return the user ID. You're going to get that inserted order ID. You're going to have that, right? And that's why you create that route, you creating this route. So if everything success, basically you reach to this route, okay? Order/ID, right? You're going to reach to that route. That is all. And the data will be added to the database, like order and order item, right, will be added to the database. Fine. So the next step is, so we have again some message also here, right? We're displaying some message. If something goes wrong, you're going to see the message in the same place. Let's go back to the code here, right? So something goes wrong, right? What we're going to see in the place order form, we just have a paragraph displaying some like paragraph. If no success, if data success failed, then you're going to run this. If no success, right, then you're going to run this paragraph and data.message. Okay, so our data here is going to have this object which is going to have some message, right? So you're going to display here. That will be some, if there is some error, then only you're going to see this. All right, so let's I think the final is page, right? Because this form must, like you're going to the place order route, this page will run. So let's run that page by calling place order page, right? So here we have a lot of components, not component, but basically the form, right? It's like different HTML things. Okay. So first you have to get my cart. Next is get user by ID. Next is get my app name. So import. And yeah, so that is all, right? So we have all that. This is the metadata, title of our page. Then place order page. So when you click the button place order, yeah, so I mean this component, right, you're gonna see later, we import that, right, already. Place order form. So create order, right? It should be create order here. No, not create order, sorry, where is that? Place order form. This one we're gonna need, okay, later, right? So this is place order page. You have cart, session, user, you have all that, right? You got that. From the session you can easily get the user. If no cart item length like equal to 0, there is no items in the cart, then redirect to cart page, basically /cart, right? If no user address or user address that length is less than 0, redirect to shipping address. Same thing you check for payment method, right? If there is no payment method selected, you direct to payment methods. You can do all that checking, right? Then we take the address, user address, you take that one. Now check out steps. Okay, this is the component. Remember that we have done 1, 2, right? This is the third one. Why we sending current equal to third? So that the bar, this new component will render, and we want to make sure this bar is affected with that color, right? That whatever the CSS is there in that component, based on this number and matching with your index, right? Because there are 4 items in that array. So this particular index item will be a special background or whatever style, right? So that style looks like, okay, we are doing this part of the work. Okay, so place order, display that. Then grid in the MD, when you go large device, we have 3 columns, right? And there is a gap of 5 in between each. So 3 columns. So the first column is, let's look at here. The first column is this. This is the first column. Second column is here, right? Second column. And okay, where is the third column, guys? Where I put that? But anyway, let's continue, right? So the cart here, overflow X, MD call span 2, right? This will basically to center, right? I mean, you don't want to overflow in the left and right, okay? So overflow X-axis means left and right should be auto. You don't want to cross the area, right? You don't want to cross that area, okay? Stay within the page. Then MD call span 2. So in the MD device, right? Column will be 2, okay? Column will be 2, right? And the space y-axis, like top and bottom, there will be 4. Okay, so this is basically how much this they calculate automatic, right? See margin top will be calc 1 REM. This is something from the Tailwind CSS, right? So space y2 or 4 or 3 depends on the design, you can change, right? The card is here. This is one card from the SATCN. Card text, heading to shipping address. So we displaying in the first column, we are displaying shipping address. Okay, there is full name of the person, street address, city, and all that, right? We have here user, right? From the, where is the address? Here is the address. Okay, from user we're going to get address and use that to display all the information. Okay, so the section 1 shipping address, even you can click, right, to edit. Okay, If you want to edit, just click that button. It will take you to the shipping address page. Next is here a payment method, right? So if there is no payment method, user payment method, or something wrong, right? You want to edit it, just click on the edit button. It will take you to this place and select the new payment method and then proceed, right? The next cart is order items. So you want to see items, quantity, price, then like you're going to map in the table, right? That is the heading section of the table. Then in the body, you're going to map through the items from the cart. Cart has items. Remember that, the array with these fields. So from there, you're going to get each items and display in the cell, right? So there will be the slug link for the details page. Then you have image for that items, name, quantity, then also the edit button, right? If you want to edit, just click on that. It will take you to the shopping cart page. Okay. The cart here now, right? So we have like on the right side, you're going to see the box basically, right? Where you're going to see like number of items, tax, shipping price, and the total price, and final the place order form, right? So this is all the design, right? This is all the design. The main work gonna happen when you click this button, place order form. When you click, here is, right? If you look at the place order form, right? See this button, this is the main logic here. When you click that button, the function, our function is create order function. This is gonna run after that. So you may be thinking, okay, when all the items are gone, everything, no, we are like working from back to now getting to the front, right? So the page is the main thing's gonna load. This is the page, right? This is this page is called. When you go to the place order, this page will call, right? You're gonna see all this information, and here will be the click button. When you click that button in this component, then only the transaction is going to happen. Okay, and adding item to the order table, then order item table, then finally deleting items from the cart, right? And then moving you back to the, not back, but moving you to the payment page, right? Or basically I think order page. So depends what route we have added here. So look at this, the function, right? In the action order, yeah, here you're going to reach to this page. Okay, so that is all, right? So let's run this code and see if this is working until now. Okay, npm run dev. In the page, this is just the HTML. Look at the HTML, right? Try to get through that. So here, this is all we call it, Kelvin CSS gap 4, padding 4 on all side, gap 4, space y4, right? One more thing, see these functions, right? Format currency, there are 2 utilities functions we have added. Okay, I didn't go through that. So, okay, you will find something in the next chapter, right? We're going to talk about the create order details page later, right? You're going to see that. So there we're going to find something like format date times, and the format currency also, right? So date time, like you want to convert date and time into certain way, you just use this function, right? You pass the date strings and it will convert. Okay, so this is the one function you can use when changing the date time, right? And date time, date only, date time only. This is what object you're gonna get. And format ID also, right? You have some ID to change from string to, basically this function returns the ID with this certain length, right? ID length -6. Okay, So it will substring, just grab the id dot substring length -6, right? So just grab certain things from your big id, just take some few number, right? So we will see the use of this in the future. Fine. So this is running. Let's click on that. So, I'm going to add some item to the shopping cart. Add, increase, right? Maybe add one more item. Let's go back and add one more item. Let's put this. Okay. I have 2 items. Now I'm going to go to the shopping cart here. So see the proceed to checkout. We did this in the last class, right? So when you click on this, I have to log in, right? So see, still this is not redirecting. Okay, I did some fix, but it's still not working. So I have to check why not. I'll just refresh for now. This is one bug need to fix, or I'll just click here, right? So I'm back to the, now it's logged in. It's showing logged in, right? So I'll also refresh, and I don't have data in my database also, right? Shopping cart is empty for now. Okay, so there is still something error. Okay, it was working in my test project, right? But it's not. But let me add again. Okay, let me add, right? Then go to next. Okay, and now move to the shopping cart. Proceed to checkout, right? This is the proceed to checkout button. And I have shipping address in my database, so it just picked up automatically. Now continue. You're gonna choose the payment method, right? Payment method, just choose whatever, Stripe, PayPal, continue. And finally we're gonna reach to the place order, right? The code which we just wrote. So in the large device you can see okay, there is 2 column only, right? We don't have 3 column. I mean, I think there is a mistake, That's why when I was collapsing that page, right, the HTML. So here in the MD device, call grid call 3, right? So we can just make it 2 call also. That will be fine. So let's do this, right, and see what happens. Okay, so it did not fit, right? Oh, sorry guys. So this one is taking 2 column and this one is taking 1 column. Okay, okay, so look at here. This one is taking 2 column. Okay, call span 2, right? And here it's taking basically whatever the remaining part. That's the reason. Okay, I cannot remember everything. So now that's good. You can see now in the first column you have the edit button, like shipping address, payment, PayPal, order items. You can easily understand, right? And then this is the final, like let's call it final price, tax, shipping address. So I have added, like, if the price is more than 500, you don't need to pay shipping, right? Something like that in my code. That's why you see 0 there. So place order. Now when you click this button, place order, right? See the cart, all the transaction things gonna take place. Place order. So shipping address, latitude, longitude. Yeah, so there is this is asking for this data, right? Because we are trying to add all this information and there is like null, receive null, right? So that's why, so we're gonna have to make some change to our, and the shipping address number must be greater than 0, right? So it asking now, database is asking shipping address, price also, and the latitude and longitude. So we can make it null, right? We have to just make few changes and then it should work. Okay, but we have to make this null and then that should be fine. and then it will move us. See, this is the message I was talking about right earlier, in our, this message, okay, in the place order form, right? So let's do one thing. I'm going to stop here, right? And I will start another video again, fix this one, and move to the place order page, and then work on that also, right? Okay, and I'll show you the fix on that one. Okay, thank you very much.